Welcome back, me old boys. It's been a while since we sat down and done a presentation together. Today I'm going to give you my simple tricks to improve as a man. These are not by any means ineffective. It's always the simple stuff that works. It's a cliche, but the simple stuff is what makes the difference in life. I'm going to take you straight through the simple tricks to improve as a man. Things I've been using in my life since I changed it from being this little kid at a sales job, working for another man, and working for myself 3 years later, making about $3 million in between. So without further ado, let's begin. Number one, I see an absolute lack of balls in the West and balls in young men. And that's something that will change everything for you. You've got to realize at a point in your life that some things are worth dying for. And that sounds super extreme, but in your own head, you need to have things that you actually believe in. Don't just go along with the rhetoric. Test everything and have some balls. Don't be intimidated. And the easiest way to change this, for most people, having some balls, it all comes down to the fear of violence. Most men, they won't speak up. They won't get into a confrontation. They won't protect themselves. They'll submit to bullies because they fear the pain of being hit or the pain of violence. The easiest way to get around that, what we do inside the New Elite, our private brotherhood and network around the world with entrepreneurs, is we indulge ourselves in that violence in a safe environment. We go and box, we go and do MMA, we go and punch each other in the face. Most people are absolutely shit scared to do that. But in order to have balls, you have to be able to stand up for what you believe in. And that starts with going through the pain of violence yourself. And you'll quickly realize that you're not scared of that. Imagine this for a second. For the next year, you do sparring twice a week. Not super heavy sparring. You don't have to come out bloody all the time. That was in my fight camp, so that was a lot more extreme sparring. But most of the time, you won't even come out bloody, but you'll feel some punches. If you do that twice a week, for example, for an hour, by the end of the year, you've been punched in the face or punched in the stomach, or you've had some combat thousands of times. No, my math's totally wrong on that. You would have had it about 100 times, thousands of punches. And then the next time you're in the street or you're at a club or you're with your girl and something happens and it looks like the other person might be violent, you're no longer scared of taking a punch because you've taken so many punches. It's as simple as that. Evil is attracted in this world to the timid and the shy. It's your job as a man to become as dangerous and as powerful as possible and have a good moral compass inside of you to know that you will use that power for good. And that's what we train into the guys. All of these guys here regularly meet up together with their friends and trade blows. And that is the perfect way to sort of strengthen and harden yourself as a man. Also, a man's word is his bond. I believe a man goes from boy to man when he starts being true to his word and the things that come out of his mouth. When he no longer says things and doesn't act. When he says he's going to do something and he actually does it, that's when you really become a man. And this is very important to me. There can be a guy that doesn't have much money, but if he's brave, if he's fearless, if he'll get in the ring, and more importantly, if he says what he says, if he does what he says he's going to do, that's what makes a good friend. And that's what makes a good person to be around. And that will stand out to people and make you far more successful. You'll have people that are at a higher level than you that want to hang out because of this. Another one is listen more than you speak. Especially when you're young and you're on the come up, there's so much you can learn from others. You can learn from the things they're saying that you don't want to do. You can learn from the things they're saying that have made them successful. Every time you're speaking, you're not learning. Speaking is a great skill as well. To be a good orator, to be able to eloquently put your point across. But most of the time when you're younger, you want to listen. Also, you want to know the power of silence. Often people will be drawn to you in a room if you have physical presence. You look like you can handle yourself, you listen a lot, and you don't really speak. People are naturally drawn to the person that's the most laid back in the room, the person that needs attention the least. These are all very important things to learn. Slow down, stand tall. Most young guys walk around with their head in their phones, which means your natural head position is now tilted down. You need to learn to slow everything down, walk slower, talk slower. Look people directly in the eye and don't be a target. Stand up in your life. Be fearless, be brave. That'll start to change things for you massively. total different tangent here, but style. Over the years, I've sort of built a personal style, and it's a lot easier to do if you know these few tricks. Basically, there's timeless outfits that if they're fitted well and you have a good physique, you're always going to look good and you don't have to spend a fortune. And these are the things I think you need. So number one, get a pair of tailored white pants, because these can go perfectly with pretty much any blazer, any suit jacket. And if you have a white and black shirt, you can pair these up to make any nice outfit where you want to go out and impress a woman on a date, or you want to go out and impress your boys when you're going for a dinner, or look good in a business meeting. I believe the white pants and the blazer combo is more classy, in my opinion, than the full suit. You've got the full black suit here. It's another one to add to the wardrobe, a nicely tailored, nicely fitted full black suit. But the white and different colored blazers, it looks less businessy. It looks less work. It's like, this is a man that decides his life rather than has to show up to work in a suit. You see the guys in suits, like you see the estate agents and the business guys in their shit suits with their shit physiques. It's not impressive. What's impressive is a fighter's physique, a great set of shoulders on you, that V taper from looking after your body. And you can get a cheap suit, cheap materials, but if it fits well, you will look way better than a guy in a $5,000 suit. So you want to add in the white pants, the black pants tailored, a suit jacket, maybe a black suit. Then you've got all of your, and a white and black shirt. You've got all of your formal attire taken care of. You also want a pair of loafers. Get yourself a pair of loafers or a pair of shoes that can go well. Like, I've got a few different pairs. These are Fendi, these are Dior. You don't have to go crazy expensive like that, but they look very good. Also, you've obviously got your white trousers worn again here, but just with a collarless shirt. I would recommend getting one of these. I love the collarless shirt look when you're doing like white pants and a shirt. Another thing you'll notice is sunglasses. I always wear sunglasses. There's only one picture here where I'm not wearing sunglasses. I've got in my room over there probably 25, 30 pairs of sunglasses. I absolutely love them as accessories. They totally change your look. They add a bit of mystery. They also, I believe, they protect your power and your energy. People can't see your eyes. You're a bit more mysterious. Also, I have hypersensitive eyes, which not a lot of people know. But when I look in the light, my eyes, like I struggle outside without sunglasses anyway. That's why I wear them. But get a nice pair of sunglasses, pair of Tom Fords or Dita. It's one of my favorite brands. That's these. These were Mont Blanc. Like, invest in a nice pair of sunglasses. Don't wear shit ones. Like, shit ones absolutely destroy your look, whereas a good pair of sunglasses can make your look. Just figure out what suits your face. Next one, you want to have a nice pair of jeans, nice pair of blue jeans. This, you can even go baggier than this, but this isn't a bad look. The super skinny is not in anymore. This is not too bad, and you can even go baggier than this, but a nice pair of jeans. Nicely fitting white and black tank tops, because you can put this with jeans and it makes quite a nice outfit, and a pair of white Air Force. Like, that's easy to do. And you also want black and white t-shirts that fit well. You want black and white t-shirts because then you can do white t-shirt, blue jeans, white shoes. That's always going to be a timeless look. You can go white pants, white t-shirt, loafers. It's a timeless look. Like, you're looking good all the time. Make sure you get yourself one full tracksuit. I've always loved a tracksuit. Good for hanging out in the house, good for going to the gym, good for flying, but you still look fucking cool as fuck. Get one good tracksuit that's not like a prison jumpsuit. Like, put yourself together with one nice full tracksuit, nice pair of shoes and a white tee. And this looks great. This is a tracksuit, but I don't look bad here. I look great. I look premium. I look like I'm going to get respect even when I'm flying. Whereas a lot of people, they've got like a mixed match of like shit shorts, a grey hoodie, and it just doesn't look good. But style is actually very, very simple if you follow this guide. Cargos, always good to add. I was off in Japan skiing. I love the cargos. Like, get a pair of cargos, and then you can have an outfit like this. Full black, you've got the white Air Force again. I like full blacks, full whites. It's always a good look. At least one nice pair of swimming trunks. Don't be wearing shit swimming trunks. Like, make sure they've got a good fit on the leg, and make sure your physique's dialed in. And you basically follow this. You grab a white pair of Air Force. You get a pair of blue jeans, white and black t-shirts that fit well, white and black tanks that fit well. These are H&M tanks, size medium, I believe, the ones I'm wearing now. I use Alpha Elite for white and black t-shirts. This is Armani tracksuit. This jacket's like, this looks like probably a $2,000 suit. It's not. It's about $100 trousers and $250 suit jacket. It's not. It's just the physique and the way the look is brought together that makes it look good. But you get all of that figured out, and you start to walk through the world with a bit of respect for yourself and gaining respect from other people. A man should dial his fashion in if he wants to be taken seriously. Next one, skill development. 007. It's basically the goal. Become 007. That's your goal as a man. Everybody admires him. Women want to be with him. Why? Because he's a professional. Because he is effective in multiple scenarios. So rather than spend your money with your friends on going out to the club and getting tables, which any idiot can do, and I've done, because I have been an idiot. I've spent far too much money at tables, but I've also done this stuff, and this is far more fulfilling. Every money you want to spend on a table, every time you want to go out to the club, spend your weekends gaining new skills, languages, learning a language, second language, an absolute flex. Hobbies, riding a motorcycle. Every man should learn to ride a motorcycle. It's such a flex. So good with women as well. Putting them on the back of a motorbike. And yeah, it's going to get wet. That's all I'm saying. When I had no money, but I had a 1,250cc Harley on rental in Koh Samui, Thailand. When I moved there, I'd pull up to hostels on it. And you instantly become the sort of bad boy that women believe in, these archetypes of men, like cowboys, these bad boys, the bikers, like this in their brain from movies. They want to sleep with those guys. They find them attractive. So you learn to do this. You take a girl on the back, like she's instantly having a bonding experience with you, rather than you sitting down and being boring like any other guy. The more thrill and adrenaline you can give a woman, the more addicted to you she becomes. Your whole life, my whole life is tailored around building in as much as adrenaline and skill development as possible. Having as much fun becoming the most well-developed man is way better than getting the adrenaline of being in the club with girls. It's just night and day difference. Shooting, every man should learn to run a gun. Skiing, well, I mean, it's fucking awesome skiing. Just an absolute incredible skill to add. Go down to the local snow dome. Go and learn there and then book a trip and go skiing. Fighting, obviously, it's got to be on there. Guitar, you see I've got guitars in the background. Been playing a lot more guitar. Just add to your skills. There shouldn't be much time that you spend like wasting time in your life as a man. It should be filled with activities you want to do. Learning wakeboarding, for example. You want to get your money up and you want to reinvest this money in becoming a more well-rounded man. Women will find you just far more interesting because they're like, wow, what can't this guy do? And that's the goal. So get rid of all the games, get rid of all the time that you spent watching movies, get rid of all the time you spend scrolling, and add in some actual skill development as a man. This one's huge. We went through it at the start. You can't be a man in this world without the capacity for violence. It's just as simple as that. You cannot command anybody or actually stand your ground or protect your country or protect your woman or your people if you can't fight. All you need to do is you need to fight competitively and feel the pain of loss or the victory, the pleasure of victory or the fulfillment of victory. You need to feel that at least once. And you need to win at least once. You can lose and then you train again, but you must fight and win once competitively in your life to just feel the pressure of a fight camp, to feel what that changes in you and how you have to manage your own mental side. Like that's mental fortitude training, like nothing you've ever seen, because no man wants to do this. No man wants to risk it because of his ego. Even for me, like I lost my last fight. That's a terrible thing for the ego, but a very good thing for you as a man. You need to fight competitively at least once in an amateur setting. You need to train regularly and spar every week. Inside the New Elite, our private network, we spar pretty much every week around the world in our membership areas. Sometimes not quite as much. But it's a very important thing. You have to be regularly sharpening the skills and you need to be training at least once with a trainer or learning some boxing or some MMA each week. The world requires strong men. Women like encourage passivity and you just cannot listen to them. Like my mother, I love my mother. She's awesome. But she always said, like, you don't need to fight. You're going to ruin your face. Like they are unfortunately, they're undeliberately sabotaging your entire life and fulfillment as a man. They're trying to keep you away from the thing that makes you a man, which is, it's just absolutely horrendous. Like a boy should be taught to fight and protect himself and his family. That is his job. But the majority of people in the West say, let's be pacifists, let's not indulge in violence. Of course, you don't want to indulge in violence, but sometimes you don't have the choice. And that's a very important thing for a man to learn. Whereas women will always try and make you gentle and soft. They like to support the weak. That's what makes women good at looking after children. That's what makes them good with animals. But that is not the realm of men. Men build and conquer, and we protect, and that's our job. So you have to really not listen to the women in your life. They're going to want to protect your pretty little face. But at the same time, they don't want a man with a pretty little face. They don't want a man that can't protect them. But they will try and force that on you. So just understand that mind trickery of the female nature. And it's something that they can't particularly control themselves. It's not something that they intend to do. It's just how they're wired. And that's why we're different. Men and women are different. Evil hates strong men. If you look, there was an interview where they asked pedophiles, convicted pedophiles, what would deter them from going after a child. And it was a strong male figure in the household. You're literally protecting the people around you by being a strong and confident man. And that's a beautiful thing. Some people only understand the language of violence. Some people that you cannot talk sense to them. They're too low IQ. They understand violence. They've come from a different world to you. You need to be able to meet them on that playing field. And there's nothing worse than seeing bullies intimidate people and win. To beat 90% of men in street fights, you literally need to box once per week for a year or train MMA once per week for a year. And then, because most people that are trained fighters are not bad people. Most people that take the time to learn the discipline of fighting are not violent people. They fight less because they've already released it. Most of the idiots that want to intimidate and bully have never had a real fight. So all you need to do is one time per week train MMA or train boxing. And you've got the abilities then to knock out 90% of men that are going to try and start a fight on you in the future. Try and learn some MMA, some jiu-jitsu, because a lot of fights do end up on the floor. You want to be able to know how to throw your body weight around. Some wrestling, some jiu-jitsu is very important, not just fists, because a lot of people tackle and take down, and you need to know how to deal with that. It's a very good way to submit someone without giving them brain damage as well in those situations, and without getting yourself in trouble. You hit someone real hard and they fall over and die, you could go to prison for that. And at the same time, if you were able to take them to the ground and submit them, they're not going to have any harm done to them. All right, learn social media. If you're not on it already, you just need to bite the bullet and get into it. Social media's made me millions of dollars. It completely changed my life, documenting my journey of becoming the man I wanted to be and teaching other people to do the same through my programs has completely changed my life and who I am. And the ability to network is unmatched. But now with these accounts and with my YouTube, I can network with pretty much anyone because they can instantly see some value that I bring to the table. And it opens up so many opportunities, as well as, dating and status go hand in hand. The game is won or lost online now. You have to learn the online game. Status, money, and women all come from online social media presence. It's absolutely imperative that you learn. Let's go through a few things that you can do instantly just to allow yourself to have a chance in the game. Basic rules. This cannot be private. You want this. The aim of Instagram is to answer these questions. Would I do business with this person? Do I want to be friends with them? Or do I want to date them and fuck them if it's women that are coming onto your profile? So when you look at your Instagram, you should ask yourself these questions. A lot of people see this as social media. They see this as fun. It's not. This is a serious game. It's a business game. This can change your whole life. So you need to look at this page. It needs to be not on private, no private Instagrams. You need to have people be able to find you and look you up. And then you need at least 6 pictures that show the best version of you or tell a little bit of a story about your life. You need to be dressed well. You need to be around people. You need to have a physique pic. You should have a great physique that people can see, maybe some boxing on there. And you need to show that you've been around females if you want to use this for dating. You don't have to be sitting holding hands with a girl, But if you show in some of your carousels, which is where you put a few pictures together, if you show in a carousel that you've had women at dinner before, you've been around women that are your friends, it's going to make women far happier to date you and find that you're not as intimidating, and they know that you're a real person that has obviously had attention from females before. It's very simple stuff. Just most people don't do it. In terms of IG growth, you want to be doing a reel per day. That's pretty much the only way to grow on IG right now. Your posts, your stories, they'll go to current followers. They're more of a nurture sequence for you to bring in business if you're selling something online, or to build a connection with your following. But in order to grow, you need to be doing reels and showing a bit of your personality. When someone goes on your profile, I should be able to binge some of your reels and your content and get to know you and get to a point where I'm like, wow, I got some value from this guy. He's got a cool life. He seems like a great guy. I actually am interested in his business. I want to reach out to him. Every single piece of content you make is like buying digital real estate. Same with YouTube. A video like this can be watched for the next 25 years. One of you might stumble across this. You might think, wow, Jack's awesome. I'd like to be mentored by Jack. I'd like to be part of New Elite, Jack's Brotherhood. I'd like to learn how to do 7 figures a year in personal branding with Jack's system, in Icon Blueprint. These are all programs, and somebody might find this in 10 years' time. And then they come through as a lead. Learning that skill to leverage attention, what other brands pay millions of dollars for through ads, you can do online. But so many people don't do it. So I recommend starting with this. Sort your IG out, get it off private, get a decent profile up and running. Go out with your friends. If you've got an iPhone, you have the ability to take great pictures. That's iPhone. That's iPhone. That's iPhone. That's iPhone. That's a DSLR. That's iPhone. Like, if you have a new iPhone, you have the ability, a literal content studio in your pocket. You have to use it, and it will change your life. If you want to learn more about this, we have multiple programs. We have the New Elite, where you can get more private one-to-one mentorship, but you have to be doing sort of over $10,000 a month already. It's higher level guys, a lot of networking around the world. Or if you want to learn directly on weekly coaching calls with me how to build a personal brand, then join the Icon Blueprint. Check it out down below. You can go and ask questions. At the moment, we have a deal on, you get a mastermind included, so you can meet me in person. All right, weight training, unacceptable to be out of shape, unacceptable to not be lean, like absolutely unacceptable. It's ground zero, because you can do it when you don't have any money. I've been doing this since I was 14 years old. It absolutely bewilders me that there's some guys that have money and are out of shape, that there are guys that are 18 years old and out of shape. So what the fuck have you been doing for the last 4 years since you were 14 and you could go in the gym? But there is absolutely no excuse. I would not be able to look at myself in the mirror if I was out of shape. That's how ingrained in me it is. The training that I do, being lean and being big, changes your life. It's unacceptable to not have a good physique. Like, absolutely unacceptable to not have six-pack abs, in my opinion. All you want to be doing, let me break it down for you, is compound lifts, strength gains. Compound lifts, go into the gym, do chest press, incline chest press, put the weight up each week, mark down your weights, do 3 sets of 12, okay? Go and do squat, then add more weight next week. Do deadlifts, do bent over rows with a barbell, do shoulder press, do chest press, bang, done. That's all you need to do to build a good physique, and just increase the weights each week as you become stronger across all key lifts. Add in 10,000 steps per day and keep your calories at 2,000. In 2 months' time, you're going to be absolutely shredded, strongest you've ever been in your life, and you're going to look better. You're going to get more respect from people. Like, if you have not done this yet, this is number 1 on your list. Money does not even come close to what this buys you. Not even close. I can meet a man with money, more money than you could ever imagine, and I don't respect him if he cannot get his physique in check, because it shows a total lack of discipline for yourself. So that's just harsh brotherly advice. If you do not have a six-pack, if you do not, it'll take you a little while to look like this. It's taken me quite a while to look like this. If you don't have a half-decent physique with a nice flat belly, some shoulders on you, then you're doing something seriously wrong, and you need to sort that out today. Get in the gym today. and be going 5 times a week and do not stop. Get your 10,000 steps in per day and get shredded out. It'll change your life. Another one. Not many people understand this at all. I didn't for a lot of years, but there's something called sexual transmutation. It's the act of not busting a nut. And if you keep this, essentially you will unlock unlimited power. Most guys can't even stop themselves from wanking. It's actually very disgusting. Don't mean that in a bad way, but it's disgusting because other people can sense it on you. They can sense the wank on you. Understand that. Because when a man doesn't bust, your number one drive as a man is to reproduce. So unless you're reproducing and making a child or having sex, there is no other reason to bust. Well, we've all done it. We've all had a wank. You should basically cut that completely out of your life. It's going to do two things. You're going to get sexually frustrated. Some people then learn the power of sexual transmutation. It's turning the power of sexual frustration into actual work. So week 1, you don't bust a nut. You're going to find more drive and motivation to get things done. You're going to sit down and instantly just start doing things. You're not going to procrastinate. You're going to have better memory recall from your entire life. That's all just in week 1. You're going to have heavier lifts in the gym. You're going to have unlimited energy. That's just from 1 week without wanking, without touching yourself. You're also going to find that if you can't wank, you're going to have to then find a woman. Maybe you go out onto the dating market. No girls want you. Why? You're not high value enough. What does that then do? You take the energy of that pain of women not wanting you and you turn that into business. You turn that into success. You turn that into a high value man that can easily get women, and it allows you to work on yourself. The only time you should be busting that is on a woman's face or inside her. Wear Johnnies. Don't make children if you don't want to yet. But that's realistically the only time you should be doing it. So if you've got a girl, also try not to bust with her every day, because you're going to waste a lot of energy. You get a massive increase in prolactin. You become far more lazy and docile after you bust. So what you want to be doing is learn sexual transmutation. It will change your life. You have 10x more motivation. And especially when you're with a woman, if you can hold off the urge, you will have better sex and far more sex. If you stop busting in your girlfriend, she's going to go crazy for you. Because what happens? You fuck her for 30 minutes, you make her come, and you don't bust. So you're still horny. So you go and do some work or whatever, and then you're going to want to fuck her again. And you're going to end up fucking her 4 or 5 times a day. She's going to have her mind blown. Imagine doing that all week, and then just busting once a week instead. You're going to have like 30 sessions a week with your girlfriend, no joke. So that's just some stuff I've learned. It's difficult discipline. I would recommend reading Think and Grow Rich. Sexual transmutation is an important part of this. You have to understand how much power you are throwing away and how much life force you have in you that you're not currently using. Most men never learn this. That's why they stay docile, they stay weak, and they don't actually manage to have discipline over their lives. Hormone optimization. A lot of the problems that you face are not actual problems. They're problems with your hormone imbalance. It's why you feel bad. It's why you don't feel confident. It's why you can't gain muscle. If you want to learn about hormones, go and check out the video on my main channel, Jack Hopkins' main channel. And I've got a whole video on what blood work you should do, what supplements you should take to increase testosterone. It's all in there. And you must learn your hormones, because you might have a look in your hormone profile now. You have very high estrogen, low total test, low free test, high prolactin, high SHBG, and low vitamin D. And you can have a look at your profile and realize the reason you're depressed or you feel shit is literally just hormones. You manage to fix this. Go and use that video that's on my main channel. If you fix this, your whole life will change. You wake up in the morning, you'll want to do work. You'll want to go to the gym. You'll want to fuck girls. You'll feel confident. You won't feel scared anymore. You won't have any fear anymore. That's the difference it makes. Nice little simple one. Proper handshake. A proper handshake, you should always stand up when somebody comes into a room and wants to meet you and shake their hand. Never do that sitting down. Same with goodbyes. Always stand up, even if other people don't. That's just common courtesy. The Texas handshake I actually quite like. So in Texas, when I was recently traveling there, they put the hand out like that. They like they bring the hand out like a gun, and they present the hand. They don't just let the hand rise from here and then shake hands. Hey man, how you doing? And they present this hand with power. They look you dead in the eye. They present this hand with power. And then you have that handshake. You just want a nice firm hand. Do not have a soft hand. You don't have to crush someone's hand. You should just have a nice, firm, immovable hand. Don't crush someone's or break someone's hand, but have a firm handshake. Look someone dead in the eye. Present that hand in your strength. Look them in the eye and shake the hand. Read 10 pages a day. Something I still do, and I've always done. I've always been, I think it's a vicarious reader. Maybe that's the word in English, I don't know. But replace scrolling with reading. You can get phones. I use Apple Books or Kindle on my phone, where every time you go to scroll, why don't you just instead read for 10 minutes and hit your reading targets on the online apps? There is information held in books, which is the reason why you can't do 10K a month that would solve that problem. Why you can't do 100K a month would solve that problem. Why you don't get to 1 million a month. People have done everything you want to do before. Why don't you just read about the people in their lives that have the life that you want to live? Why don't you go and find the multi-billionaire who's done exactly what you want to do and read his entire life story and his entire tips from his entire life? But instead we sit there scrolling through shit that just goes through our brain. Scrolling decreases your motivation, decreases your energy, decreases your focus. Reading increases your focus. It increases your attention to detail. It increases your amount of time that you can spend focused on a task, which is the difference between success and failure in the modern day. But most people don't read. And by the time I started reading self-improvement at 14 years old. So by the time I was 21, I was able to educate other people on self-improvement, as I'm doing now. I was able to change my own life because I'd had many, many years of knowledge from books that I can draw upon in every conversation that I have. Reading has completely changed my life. I highly recommend this book, How to Think and Grow Rich. This is a great one. I also recommend, because most guys, if you're watching this, you're probably into self-improvement. It's nice to have a bit of a break from traditional self-improvement books and actually go for a real book. This is a story about leadership, a legendary story about the voyage of Ernest Shackleton, an English explorer. It's called Endurance. It's by Alfred Lansing. I would highly recommend reading this book if you want to be a leader in your life and you want to be inspired by an incredible voyage and the amazing feats of humanity. Like I love to read actual stories. I like to read fiction and stories. This improves your vocabulary, improves your imagination, improves your just the texture of life. You can get so bought into this. Improves your IQ, being able to imagine these stories, look into them. So yeah, Endurance and Think and Grow Rich are up on my reading list. And in my other videos, when you go through them, you'll find a lot of other books I recommend. Another one to mention would be The Easy Way to Control Alcohol by Alan Carr. If you've never done a period of time longer than 6 months sober in your life, that should be a #1 priority for you to do. Is 6 months without smoking or using nicotine and 6 months without drinking at the same time. When I was a drifter, this is from a book by Napoleon Hill called Outwitting the Devil. Napoleon Hill also wrote Think and Grow Rich. There's a book called Outwitting the Devil, which explains exactly what the devil does to take you off track in your life. And two of the things was alcohol and nicotine. When I was drifting through life, when I didn't have the life I wanted, when I was working my standard sales job, I was indulging in both of those as well as other substances on a regular basis. And it just makes you dull. It cuts you off from the real world. And it makes you just a drifter. You drift through life without getting anywhere. And I did that for years. And then I did 6 months sober. And I was hit with the pain of my actual situation and who I'd become. And that I was out of shape. And that I had a job I didn't like. And that I was living a life that was far under my potential. And I didn't have alcohol to hide behind anymore. Simple as that. I didn't have a crutch. You take the crutch away for 6 months, you will change your life. And that's just an important thing to mention. Another thing for young chaps, for anyone really, is learn to read the room. Learn when you go into a room that not all rooms are the same. And to gauge a room, you should maybe spend some time friendly but quieter at the start and see who these people are that you're speaking to. Be socially intelligent. I am not the same Jack right now as I would be in certain meetings, as I would be at a table with women. The number one way for you to just learn the basics of this and be better than most people is reading the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. You have a 100% increase in social intelligence score, and it's the most important thing you can do. Being able to speak it and correctly articulate yourself and be in conversations with people and hold your own and know when to say things and when not to say things will just easily help you craft your path through life. So, lads, there you go. Simple but effective tips on how to basically improve yourself as a man. You do all of these and you become the 1%. As simple as that. Not many guys have any of these crossed off. You add in the fact that you're making some money, you're making a bit of dough, you're in a great shape, you've got good style, social intelligence, you're well read, you've got skills, you speak a second language, play guitar, you can ski, you can fight, you can box, you can ride motorbikes. You've basically become James Bond. So this should be what you spend your time doing, not video games, not drinking, not hanging out. This should be what you spend your time doing, is becoming this man, because by the time you hit 30 years old and you've got all these skills and you've got some money in the bank, there's nothing you cannot do, no woman you cannot get, no way you cannot go. It is the ultimate life experience as a man, something that I'm unlocking at 26, and it's worth it. It's worth every second. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Great to be back on your screens. I just got a new crib in Dubai and sorted out a podcast room. I'm back on the work now. Traveled for many months, many long months. Been on voyages for eons, taken in much new information. Been around the world twice, spoken to everybody once. Anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Moderation is for cowards. And on that note, I'll see you on the next one. Woo-pow!